Hey everyone, okay, so in this video I'm going to talk to you guys about Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. There's been a lot of news in regards to this attraction lately, so I wanted to make a video and kind of go over with everything in regards to this attraction and what's been going on online, all the mania and the hysteria and the outrage over this attraction. So I want to go over with you guys everything. Now, in my last video about Fantasyland, I did mention that David Koenig, he did from My Sage, he did a write-up on, the future projects past, beyond Star Wars Land. And one of those projects is Marvel Land over at DCA. Now, Marvel Land at DCA, from what David Koenig was saying, is going to not completely take over Hollywood Land, but it's going to take over a portion of it, or a good-sized portion of it. Okay? Again, he didn't mention what portion. I'm assuming, there's going to be maybe like the Hyperion and further that way. He did mention also behind Tower, that empty lot, and maybe even Bugs Land would be incorporated into Marvel Land. Okay? Now, that's what David Koenig was saying, and I find that very interesting, and I hope he's right, actually. I hope that they actually take that direction and they don't completely replace Hollywood with Marvel. I hope they keep some Hollywood and they add a bunch of Marvel. That's fine, as long as you don't completely erase all of Hollywood and just make it all Marvel. I think that would be a huge mistake. Now, with that said, just the other day, the scaffolding came down on a lot of the building, and online there was a bunch of outrage and a bunch of, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say total outrage. Outrage from a few, and some people liked it. It's really mixed feelings as to what the building, looks like. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it ugly? Is it terrible? Okay, so here's what I think. First of all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Okay, so if you think it's ugly and you look at the building and you find it ugly, then you find it ugly. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that opinion. Personally, in my opinion, I don't find the building ugly at all. Now, there's an argument that could be made that, okay, well, maybe it's not ugly in and of itself, but does it really fit with Hollywood? Is it really something that, fits with that Hollywood vibe that they have going on right now? No, it doesn't fit with the Hollywood vibe that they have going on right now. But here's the issue. We're seeing an attraction that is being built or redone or whatever you want to call it, completely out of context. Hollywood Land, as we know it, everyone knows it's not going to remain the same. They're going to redo that entire land. Whether they redo it in terms of having it all Marvel or redo it in other ways, we don't know. But the Hollywood Land as we know right now is not going to stay the same. Along with that, we know for a fact that they are going to build some sort of Marvel land. Now, the fact that they have Tower of Terror converting into Guardians of the Galaxy lends you to believe, it's pretty obvious, that Marvel Land will somehow be connected to Mission Breakout. So if Marvel is somehow connected to Mission Breakout, and we're seeing Marvel, the Guardians of the Galaxy out of context, one can honestly assume that the rest of Marvel Land will be built around Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, right now, in this point in time, yeah, it looks out of place. It's this big Guardians tower in Hollywood. It's not going to be that way, though, forever. Do you understand? Like, they're going to build Marvel Land around, and it's going to basically, Marvel is going to surround the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction, okay, in one way or the other, whether it goes this way for Marvel Land or whether it goes that way for Marvel Land. Essentially, Marvel will encompass that whole general area. So right now it looks out of place, but eventually it will not, because it will be surrounded by a bunch of other Marvel stuff. So everyone has to keep that in mind when they're judging this attraction. This is not the end of the Marvel situation at California Adventure. They're not just building Guardians and then leaving it. They're going to have Guardians and build Marvel around it. So, you can't, it's hard to judge how it's going to look when we don't know what the rest of the area is going to even look like. Okay, so that's my first point. Okay, my second point, a lot of people are saying this. Well, okay, that's fine, but what does Marvel have to do with California? What does Marvel have to do with Hollywood? Okay, fair point. And I'll tell you exactly how I see it. And let me know if you guys think I'm crazy. You can comment below. Over in Florida at Disney Hollywood Studios, they're currently completely redoing that park. They're transitioning from Hollywood the place, right? Hollywood the place, Hollywood the studio. They're transitioning from that into Hollywood the the image, the spirit of Hollywood, the movies of Hollywood, living those experiences, living those movies fully fleshed out. You're going to go into Star Wars land, you're going to go into Toy Story land. They'll probably eventually have some sort of Marvel thing in there when they get the rights eventually from Universal. But regardless, Hollywood Studio is transitioning from Hollywood the place to experiencing Hollywood films fully fleshed out. Okay? No one has a problem with that. No one says, oh, that doesn't fit the theme. Everyone's completely fine and totally okay with that concept, that direction for Hollywood Studios. So why do we pigeonhole California Adventure into this box saying, okay, they can only do Hollywood the place. It has to be Hollywood the place. It cannot be anything else. It has to be physical Hollywood or nothing. Why? Why does that have to be the case? Why can't we have a mini version of what they're doing in Hollywood Studios in Florida where, it's not Hollywood the place, but it's Hollywood, the product, right? The films of Hollywood, experiencing the films and the wonder and the magic of Hollywood. It doesn't have to be physical Hollywood. And that's where I think people get really caught up and really kind of stuck in this mode where well, it's California, so it has to be physical Hollywood. It has to be Hollywood Boulevard. No, it doesn't. Okay? Even Hollywood, if aside from Disney, okay, let's just forget Disney right now. Let's just do Hollywood. Hollywood itself isn't even about Hollywood anymore. Hollywood, the place, is a complete dump. Okay, if you've ever been to Hollywood, the physical place, it's not a nice area. It's not something that's really glamorous or very, it's okay, but it's nothing special. Hollywood is more of a state of mind. It's more of an image. It's more of a spirit, and it's more of about filmmaking and adventure and movies and all that stuff, and it has less to do with the actual physical place of Hollywood. So why are we pigeonholing Hollywood land in California Adventure into this one concept? This one thing, it has to be physical Hollywood, the place or nothing. Why? Let's go ahead and make Hollywood and have it represent movies and everything that Hollywood represents, and have it be a place where you can experience the films of Hollywood, the franchises of Hollywood. And I see nothing wrong with that. And they can do that with adding Marvel, Marvel land. They can add a Pixar land. They can do whatever they want over there in that whole back area and still be consistent with the California theme, because Hollywood as an image, as a persona, as a spirit is very California. Okay? So that's how I see this whole Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy remake. That's how I see things. I see things as, look, you know what? If it's good for Hollywood Studios, why can't we do the same thing here on a smaller scale? Okay, on a smaller scale, but why can't we do that same thing here at California Adventure? It doesn't have to be physical Hollywood. It can be the films of Hollywood and being fully immersed in those films and experiencing Hollywood through its product. It doesn't have to be the physical street of Hollywood Boulevard, the physical avenue, the physical place. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be experiencing it through the product. And to be honest with you, you pigeonhole and you limit the Hollywood theme a whole lot when you have it themed to the physical place. If you have Hollywood 1930s, you're trapped into that era, and you're trapped into doing attractions and rides based on Hollywood 1930. Okay, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, you can make a few things, but you're pretty much, you know, kind of cornered in there. Whereas if you do Hollywood as you know, experiencing Hollywood and its product and its spirit and its image, and the films that it creates in full form, you have a lot more room, a lot more wiggle room to work with. Okay, that's how I see it. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. That's my thoughts. Those are my, you know, that's where I'm going with this whole new Hollywood remake. I think that's the direction they're going to go in. That's the direction they're going with Hollywood Studios. I think we're going to see very similar approaches in both parks, in DCA and at Hollywood Studios. But let me know what you guys think below. Comment. Let me know what you think. Is Marvel like just completely out of place? Should they not even mess with it at California Adventure? Is Guardians of the Galaxy, is it completely hideous? Is it horrible and ugly? What do you think? Let me know. Am I completely off base? I love to hear from you guys. Like, subscribe. I do content on Disney all the time. Thank you so much for watching, and have a marvelous day. Bye-bye.